Okay, now his numbers presenting.
Thank you, Chris. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone see the slide in full view? Take that as a yes.
Maybe that's why we can't hear him.
Excellent. Well, okay, thank you very much, everyone. My name's Pierre. I work for the Island Conservation Society, and I'm going to present to you today our turtle monitoring program. So I think it's important for us to know exactly why we actually do turtle monitoring. Just a second, I'm having some trouble here. Okay, sorry for that delay. So we want to know why we actually want to do turtle monitoring. It's important for us to know exactly how many nesting females there are on these beaches, and this will help us to actually identify trends over time. So whether the actual population is stable, it's increasing or decreasing, that's critical for us in terms of management of these resources. And we also want to know exactly what the habitat is like and how we can improve it for us to be able to better manage these resources. And we can actually give guidance to the developers or people that have close developments on these beaches, like hotels. We can give them very good advice in terms of their lighting, which disturbs hatchlings and nesting females, and also how they should manage their vegetation, which are adjacent to these nesting beaches. ICS has a long-term turtle monitoring program across various islands. We've been monitoring turtles across our reef for about 45 years now. On Silhouette, it's been 15 years, Les Roches, 11, Alphonse, 14 years, and Farquhar, 6 years. So overall, we have quite a lot of data gathered over the years across these islands. And we hope in the near future, probably in the next year or two, to open centers on Cosmoledo, Astove, Marie-Louise, and even Platte, where we will definitely start in long-term monitoring programs as well. So how do we actually do this? Well, we have permanent staff based on these islands so that they can actually do daily patrols. And these daily patrols consist of normally walking around the full island on a daily basis, once per day on most of them. And it is important for this to remain consistent, this frequency of monitoring, in order for us to be able to get accurate population estimates. We will do, during the patrols, our people will actually count and measure all the tracks that they come across. And the reason for measuring these tracks is actually to determine if it's a green turtle or a hawksbill turtle. They will also, if they do come across a turtle, they will take measurements of that turtle. And if they're possible to tag it, they will do so as well, so that we can actually gain better information about whether they come back to the same beach or in the same vicinity to nest. What do we do in the end with all this information that we gather? Well, there's different things. First off, you need to go back to the office once you've completed your patrol and digitize that information. And it is all entered into a centralized database. Periodically, we will then analyze this data and present the results. And these results may be disseminated in various forms, various channels, sometimes in terms of technical reports, which are given to policymakers, stakeholders, etc. And we may have also scientific publications that are produced. We also disseminate information via social media, and also newspaper articles are very often to attract attention, where we want to get messages across to different audiences. And we also undertake various education activities with kids, either in presentations like today, or we actually have field days where we invite school kids to to get an understanding of what turtle monitoring is like. I think there's a delay there, sorry. So in terms of green turtles, what we know so far? As I explained, we have long-term programs across 5 islands, one being Arid. It's a small beach, less than 1 kilometer long, and very few nesting green turtles, only 1 nest there per year. On Silhouette, it's a slightly bigger beach, amount of beach, where only about 5 turtles nest. And Des Roches, there's about 40 that nest annually. The Alphonse group, about 130, and on Farquhar is the largest population of where we actually monitoring, with 910 nesting annually. These are green turtles. So you can just see how important the outer islands are for our turtle nesting population. In terms of hawksbill turtles then, how do they measure them? So if we look at the inner granitic islands, Arid and Silhouette itself, there are 20 and 100 nests there annually, while the ones on the outer islands, Des Roches, Alphonse, and Farquhar, range between 25 and 75 hawksbills that nest there annually. So fewer numbers overall. So overall, when we compare the inner granitics and the outer islands in terms of the numbers of turtles that are nesting at these sites, we can say that the inner islands are very important for hawksbills, and the outer islands are critically important for green turtles. So that's a brief overview of how the situation is with the islands that ICS manages and our turtle monitoring program. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Pierre Andre. So again, if you have any questions at all, please can you type them in the chat box, and then Pierre Andre will do his best, along with the rest of us, to get back to you and answer your questions. So we're just going to move on to the next presentation.